Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauda Trishe Namaha Nityanandam Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayane Kalo Kalmashanashaya Janava Pataye Namaha Ajanulambita Bujau Kanakavadato Sankirtanaika Pitaro Kamalaya Daksho Vishwambaro Dvijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Shuruto Pangor Mama Manda Mater Gati Matsarvasva Padam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadha Shrimad Ratnagara Singhasanasto Shrimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prestalibhi Sevyamano Smarami Shrimad Rasarasarambhi Vam Shivata Tatakstitaha Karshana Venu Sunair Gopir Gopinata Shriyestunaha Bhaktya Vihina Aparadha Lakshai Kshiptascha Kamadi Taranga Madhye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapanna Brinde Namaste Charanarvindam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta, Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata, Sri Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. And then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa, Ashtatara Sata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Ashtatara Sata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I'm offering my Dandavat pranams to the lotus feet of all of my Shri Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, and my Dandavat pranams especially at the lotus feet of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Pad, the author of Sri Vilapa-kusumanjali, and my Dandavat pranams to all the Vaishnavas and to all the Vaishnavis. Now, in our reading of Sri Vilapa-kusumanjali, we arrived yesterday at verse 14, and the total number of verses in Vilapa-kusumanjali is 104 verses. So, at the present time, as far as page numbers are concerned, we're probably about at least about one third of the way through the book, because in the beginning and middle of the book there is more purports and longer purports, and later on they become shorter. So I'm reading the previous verse, verse 13, and then we'll read the verse 14. Shashaka brid abhisari netra brinanchalabhyam dishi vidishi bayenod gurnitabhyam vanani kuvalaya dalakoshan yeva kliptani yabhyam kimukila kalaniyo devitabhyam janoyam. O Devi, with the two bumblebees of the corners of your eyes, which in the moonlit rendezvous actually wander over each direction as if the forest were a jungle of blue lotuses, will you glance upon this person? Now verse 14. Yad avadi mamakachin manjari rupa purva vrajabhuvi bata netra dvandva deepim chakara tad avadhi tava vrinda ranya rajni prakamam charana kamala laksha sandidriksha mamabhut. Yad avadi mamakachin manjari rupa purva vrajabhuvi bata netra dvanva deeptim chakara tad avadhi tava vrinda ranya rajni prakamam charana kamala laksha sandidriksha mamabhut. Translation. O Vrindavaneshwari, that day when Sri Rupa Manjari opened my eyes, teaching about you, a great desire to achieve that alta that decorates your feet awakened in my heart. O Vrindavaneshwari, that day when Sri Rupa Manjari opened my eyes, teaching about you, a great desire to achieve that alta that decorates your feet awakened in my heart. Srila Gurudev's commentary. He begins by giving the theme of this section as Parabrahma conquered by Radhika's prema. So who is Parabrahma? None other than Krishna. What does Param Brahma mean? Param Brahma means supreme absolute truth. The Param Brahma. And in the Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna exhibits his universal form to Arjuna, then after seeing the universal form, Arjuna becomes so overwhelmed and amazed, and then he begins to glorify Krishna. And the first word he says is Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Idam Uttamam. So, Param Brahma, he's telling, oh Krishna, you are that supreme Brahma, Param Brahma, the absolute truth, from whom everything has come, by whom everything is maintained, and at the end by whom everything is destroyed. But now, Raghunath Das Goswami is describing how that Param Brahma is conquered by Radhika's prema. So Gurudev is telling Raghunath Das Goswami is remembering something in Siddhabhav. And as a sadhak, he is speaking through his outer senses. When my Gurudev described to me everything concerning Radhika and Rasa from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ujjvala Nilamani, Lalita Madhava, and Vidagdha Madhava, this is what Raghunath Das Goswami is saying. That when my Gurudev described to me everything concerning Radhika and Rasa from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ujjvala Nilamani, Lalita Madhava, and Vidagdha Madhava. So which Guru is he referring to? Rupa Goswami. So when my Gurudev described to me everything concerning Radhika and Rasa, my eyes were opened. And I saw that Srimati Radhika is so merciful. Without her mercy, we cannot have Krishna's mercy. Without her mercy, we cannot have Krishna's mercy. Everything that I know about Rasa, I have learned from Rupa-manjali. Not even Rupa Goswami, Rupa-manjali. Vraja bhuvi bata netra dvandva deeptim. This means that my eyes were opened. And I had a very great thirst to see the Charana Kamala Laksha, the altar on Srimati Radhika's feet. Yes. Because his eyes were opened by Rupa Manjari, and even in his sadhak identity, his external identity as Raghunath Das Goswami, his eyes were opened by Rupa Goswami, hearing everything about rasa from the books that Rupa Goswami had written. So my eyes were opened, and I had a very great thirst to see the Charana Kamala Laksha, the altar on Srimati Radhika's feet. In Siddhabhav, he is saying, when I met Srimati Rupa Manjari, and Siddhabhav means his internal state. He is completely in his antardasha condition, an internal state. Has no awareness of his external, sadhaka deha. So in Siddhabhav, he is saying this, that when I met Srimati Rupa Manjari, she told me about Radhika's mercy, as well as her Rupa, Guna, Leela, and so forth. My eyes were opened, And now I want to see the altar on Radhika's lotus feet. In what way? Gurudev is telling, in what way does he want to see this? Srimati Radhika is sitting with her Sakhis. Krishna is sitting in front of Radhika. And he is taking her feet on his lap and painting them. In praying, because he is Nagara and he is also Dhira Lalita Nayak, in praying, so he takes her feet and he holds them to his heart. In this way, the fresh color of the altar comes to his heart, leaving a red mark like a stamp. I only desire to see that altar on Krishna's heart, signifying that although he is Param Brahma himself, he is Vashibhut, he is conquered by Srimati Radhika's praying.
Alta means
the foot,
kumkum.
yeah, alta. The reddish kumkum. They mix so many things with that. They call it alta. So now, Raghunath Das Goswami, in completion of that meditation, now he's expressing in this verse that I only desire to see that altar on Krishna's heart, signifying that although he is Param Brahma himself, this is the signification, right? That yes, he's Param Brahma, but just see, he is Vashibhut. That means he's completely conquered by Srimati Radhika's praying. That's the symbol. And he himself is taking her feet on his chest and admitting that she is my topmost worshipful object of my existence. You know? So now, Gurudev is explaining that there are 8 kinds of Naika, Abhisarika. So, a Naika means what? A Naika means heroine, you know? Naika. And Nayaka means hero. So, actually there are 8 kinds of Naikas. So, first one, Abhisarika. Abhisarika. You know this word Abhisar? Means meeting. When Krishna and Radha come together, it's called Abhisar. So, the first type of Naika, is called an Abhisarika. And that means one who arranges the rendezvous for them to meet together. Second type is called Vasak Sajja. That means that she is prepared and decorated. Vasak Sajja. See, all of these Naikas are in Srimati Radhika, but they also manifest in various gopis. Now, Utkantita Naika means one who is eagerly waiting. Utkantita, eagerly waiting. The Kandita Naika is jealous. Kandita. The Vipralabdha Naika is, Vipralabdha means disappointed. Kalahantarita Naika, that means that Naika is anguished due to separation by quarrel. So she's in anguish and sadness. Proshita Bhartrika Naika. This is the heroine who is anguished, who is separated by long distance from the beloved. The beloved is very far distance. So her mood is Proshita Bhartrika. And then comes the Svadhin Bhartrika. This is the final one of the 8 kinds. And this Naika she is Svadhin Bhartrika, she controls her lover. So, here, Svadhin Bhartrika means that the Nayak, the hero, the Nayak, is already conquered by the Naika. And being a Manjari, Tulsi Manjari wants Radhika to be on a higher level than Krishna. She wants this, always. This is all the Manjaris. They want to see that she is always Svadhin Bhartrika. She's completely conquered over Krishna. She always wants that her Sakhi is victorious and that Krishna is conquered. Here, Krishna is taking Srimati Radhika's lotus feet to his heart, instead of Radhika taking his feet. It's reversed. Tulsi Manjari is so overjoyed to see this, and she desires that this alta, that alta on the chest of Krishna, will always be visible to her there. If Srimati Radhika is searching for Krishna and is somewhat unhappy, Tulsi Manjari does not like it, that she is searching for Krishna and she is somewhat unhappy. No, Tulsi Manjari does not like to see that. She wants that Krishna search for Srimati Radhika and that he always serves her. That's what she wants. Our Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, has composed the following shloka. You know there's an ashtakam. And this is the first verse of that ashtakam that Param Gurudev composed. Radha Chinta Niveshena Yasya Kantir Vilopita Shri Krishna Charanam Vande Radha Lingitam Vigraham. Radha Lingita Vigraham. That's called the Radha Vinod Bihari Tattva Ashtakam. So, the meaning of this shloka is, we pray at the lotus feet of that form of Sri Krishna who is embraced and marked by Srimati Radhika. Yes, who is embraced and marked by her. We are praying at the lotus feet of that form of Krishna, Sri Krishna Charanam Vande. At his lotus feet we are praying Radha Lingita Vigraham, that he is marked by her and he is embraced by her. So when, this is continuing the translation of this verse, when Srimati Radhika, the embodiment of Mahabhav, showed her man, and Krishna became thoroughly absorbed in separation from her, his own dark color vanished, and he assumed her bright golden complexion. So, Gurudev is saying that devotees of all other sampradayas, all the other Vaishnava sampradayas, they all think that Krishna, they think Krishna to be superior to Radhika. That's natural, because they're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and all the Shastras. Krishna is Param Brahma, he's superior to Radhika. And they are satisfied to think that Radhika and all the gopis are searching for Krishna, that they're weeping, lamenting, and rolling on the ground. So in a Vipralambha mood, the gopis are searching for Krishna, Vipralambha. Our Gurudev in the line of Rupa Goswami says, why should Radhika search for Krishna? Krishna should search for Radhika. He should lament, and he should roll on the ground. So, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is written that when Krishna disappeared, Radhika and all the gopis were lamenting and weeping and searching for Krishna. In his commentary to these Bhagavatam verses, our Gurudev explains, that means Param Gurudev for us, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, in his commentary To these Bhagavatam verses, our Gurudev explains that Srimati Radhika disappeared from the Rasa Stali. Searching for her, Krishna came to Imli Tala. And there he was lamenting, "Where is Radhika? Where is Radhika?" And he was playing the name of Srimati Radhika on his flute. Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. Please come and save my life. So when she appeared again, and Krishna saw her, he at once ran to her. Where? At Imlitala. And this is called Radha Lingita Vigraham. Radha Lingita Vigraham, that form in which he was embraced by Radha. So by deeply remembering her, Krishna, Radha Chinta Niveshena. Radha Chinta means completely absorbed in thinking about her, completely, he has no outer consciousness practically. Radha Chinta Niveshena, he completely entered this mood of remembering her. And then what happened? He became like her. His form remained that of Krishna, but his complexion became golden like Radhika's. His color disappeared, and Radhika's color appeared. Radhika embraced Krishna, and Krishna embraced Radhika. So, from outside, he is seen as Radhika, with a golden beauty, but inside, he is Krishna. I bow down to that Radha Lingita Vigraha Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the meaning of the shloka. Actually, Mahaprabhu, he is that Krishna, fully embraced by Srimati Radhika. So having taken this view, our Gurudev has established Radhika Bhava Yukta deities in his temples, which is Radha Vinod Bihari. Radha Vinod Bihari. He has established Radhika Bhav Yukta deities in his temples. So, because all of his deities that he established are named Radha Vinod Bihari, and that means Krishna in that mood of Radha Lingita Vigraham, that he's become so absorbed that he has lost his dark color. So all of the deities, that's a whole pastime in itself. All the deities of Param Gurudev are light-colored Krishna, not dark-colored. And this is the reason why. So in the same mood, Raghunath Das Goswami is praying to see the altar from the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika on Krishna's chest. So in the Vrajavilas Stava, that's also written by Raghunath Das Goswami, Vrajavilas Stava, something like 200 verses, glorifying every entity in Braj. So he wrote this particular shloka. And I know, Srila Gurudev, this was a very favorite shloka of Gurudev's. He used to repeat this shloka. Tambularpana pada mardana payo dana bisaradibir vrindaranya maheshwarim priyataya yasto shayanti priya prana preshta saki kulada pikila sankochita bhumika Keli Bhumishu Rupa Manjari Mukas Ta Dasika Samshraye. So Raghunath Das Goswami has composed this verse. It's the 38th verse of Vrajavilas Stava. And it means that he's saying, I take shelter of the maid servants of Srimati Radhika, headed by Rupa Manjari. Prana Preshta Saki. That means all of those Priyanarma Sakis. So unlike the Priyanarma Sakis, which is the Ashtasakis, these Manjaris, they can perform any service without any inhibition. And they continually and affectionately satisfy Srimati Radhika by their various services, such as offering tambula, massaging her feet, bringing her water, and arranging for her meetings with Krishna. That's the meaning of this shloka. Tambularpana, giving tambul, padamardana, massaging the pada, payodana, giving water, and abhisar adibi, and arranging abhisar, the meeting. So, Raghunath Das Goswami is praying, when will the day come that I will give pure water in a golden pot to Srimati Radhika and serve her lotus feet? While she has an abhisar with Krishna, I will help her by offering tambula, pan, and all such seva. So in the Jaiva Dharma, we read that there are 16 different types of seva that are performed by the Sakis. And the above mentioned are some of them. The Sakis also help Srimati Radhika to meet Krishna by cheating her husband and so on. This is one of their main sevas, is by helping Radhika to meet Krishna by cheating her husband. But they also cheat their own husbands. So Raghunath Das Goswami is praying, when will I be able to serve Srimati Radhika in these ways, as Rupa Manjari and all the other Manjaris serve? When will that day come? Actually, Srila Rupa Goswami gives these ideas to the jivas, and he has also given them to Raghunath Das Goswami. By her mercy, Radhika orders Rupa Manjari to teach these things. Yes. By her mercy, Radhika orders Rupa Manjari to teach these things, and she, Rupa Manjari, is teaching them. So in the Prarthana, in the book Prarthana, Narottam Das Thakur has written, Prabhu Lokanatha Kabe Sangi Loya Jabe Shri Ruper Pada Padme More Samarpibe. We have this song in our songbook. So he's praying to his guru. Narottam Das Thakur is praying to Lokanath Goswami. And he's saying, when, by your mercy, will you offer me to the feet of Rupa Manjari, who will accept me as a new dasi? And then there's another song in which Narottam Das Thakur is praying, E Navadasi Bali Shri Rupa Chahibe, Heno Shubha Kshana Mor Katha Dine Habe, Shigra Agya Koriben Dasi Heta Ai, Sevar Susajja Karya Karaha Tvarai, Anandita Hoya Hiya Tar Agya Bole, Pavitra Mane Karya Koribe Tatkale. So this translation of this song is, when will I be a young Kishori maid servant? A Navadasi. Nava means new. So when will I be a young Kishori maid servant? And when will that auspicious time be? When will Sri Rupa Manjari repeatedly order me about, saying, O Dasi, come here. Quickly arrange our Swamini's fancy garments and ornaments. By hearing these orders, I will become delighted. These orders will completely absorb the attention of my purified mind. Then Narottam Das continues. No, Raghunath Das Goswami continues.
What's the name of that song, Maharaj?
The name of the song? Well, it's just only like, it just has the number in the book, Prarthana. Song number 17, song number 18, like that. But usually it's the first line of the song, but this may not be the first line. Oh, it is actually, verses 1 through 3. So if we look that up, I'm not sure if this one is there. A Navadasi is what we look up for that. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he's continuing. He says, she will tell me that I should do Tambula Seva, beautifully cover Radhika's bed with colored flowers, and then she will take me to see Kishore and Kishori. I will follow behind Rupa Manjari as she takes me to see Srimati Radhika. Then she will indicate my presence to Radhika by a sign with her finger, and Radhika will ask, who is she? And Rupa Manjari will reply, I have brought a new Saki to serve your feet. Manjulali has collected her and placed her in my hands. Oh, this is still Narottam Das Thakur who's expressing this, because Manjulali is his guru, Lokanath Goswami. She, in his Manjari form, he's Manjulali. And so Gurudev is saying that after this part of the song, he continues with describing how his Manjulali and how Rupa Manjari, they'll lead her, this new Saki, which is in this case Narottam Das Thakur. Then they'll bring her, and she will follow. I will follow behind Rupa Manjari as she takes me to see Srimati Radhika. Then she will indicate my presence to Radhika by a sign with her finger, and Radhika will ask, who is she? Rupa Manjari will reply, I have brought a new Saki to serve your feet. Manjulali has collected her and placed her in my hands. Then Srimati Radhika will order her, yes, you should teach her all kinds of seva and engage her. This prayer is for both those who are siddha and for sadhakas. Rupa Goswami has written this verse in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Madhya Lila, in the teachings to Sanatana Goswami. So, Sadhu Sangha Nam Kirtan Bhagavat Shravan Mathuravasa Shri Murtir Shraddhaya Sevan. You've heard this probably before. These are the 5 activities that are the topmost amongst all the 64 limbs. So, the translation of that is one should associate with devotees, that means Sadhu Sangha, perform Nam Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, listen to Srimad Bhagavatam, Mathuravasa, reside at Mathura Mandala, and Srimurtir Shraddhaya Sevan, and worship the deity with Shraddha, with faith. There are 64 kinds of bhakti, and these 5 are the most favorable for us. Particularly favorable for us to hear are the narrations of Krishna and the gopis from the 10th canto, such as Gopi Geet, Jugal Geet, Pranay Geet, Venu Geet, and Brahmara Geet. He's saying, particularly favorable for us to hear are the narrations of Krishna and the gopis from the 10th canto. right? So, and also to hear the commentaries on these sections of these 5 different songs of the gopis. In the Prem Bhakti Chandrika, that's another songbook by Narottam Das Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur has written that if someone has greed towards these topics, then they should read the Ujjvala Nilamani. Because there, Rupa Goswami has thoroughly delineated this science, knowing that it is very favorable for our entrance into Raganuga Bhakti. So this is a very significant thing that Gurudev is saying here, because many persons will not say this. Many gurus also. But Gurudev is telling this. But he's also giving some qualification here. It's not just any devotee, but it's the devotee who, like he's saying here, if someone has some greed towards these topics, right? They have some greed, they want to hear these topics, then, okay, that's the sign that now should read the Ujjvala Nilamani. So you know this book, Ujjvala Nilamani? So this is actually the sequel. It's after Rupa Goswami wrote the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is the full, presentation of the whole overview of rasa, Bhakti Rasa Tattva, and everything. So he wrote that first. And in there, he is expressing about all the 5 main rasas: Shantaras, Dasiras, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. All are covered there, including Madhurya. But Madhurya is more brief there. But what is required for those who want to enter is the sequel book. Not everyone can read that, but those who have some greed, some attraction, some intense desire to hear these things, Gurudev is saying they should read. They should read, where is that? Yes. They should read the Ujjvala Nilamani. Why? Because there, Rupa Goswami has thoroughly delineated this science of only Madhurya Rasa. It's a very thick book. We have it translated into English, one version. Because without this, without hearing about all these topics that Gurudev is actually giving in his purports here, he's giving little bits and pieces from Ujjvala Nilamani and explaining about Gopi Bhav and in so many different details. So this is favorable. Gurudev is saying that, Rupa Goswami intentionally has delineated this entire science, knowing that it is very favorable for our entrance into Raganuga Bhakti. It doesn't mean that we've entered. No, we've not entered. But some beginning is coming. Some attraction, some little bit of, we can even call it like greed or greed avas, lobha avas, or whatever. Just something is coming. So then, by hearing that, with that mood, then it will enable us one day to actually enter into Rag Anuga Bhakti, right? So Gurudev has quoted just before, this is the last, what I just read is the last paragraph of this verse, commentary. And so Gurudev has said that this prayer that he just quoted from Narottam Das Thakur, right? That beautiful song from Narottam Das Thakur, he's quoted, and he's described how Sri Guru will bring us in that perfectional stage directly to the lotus feet of Rupa Manjari, who will bring us directly to Srimati Radhika, and so forth. That's all being described here. So, but what Gurudev is saying is that this prayer, it is for both those who are siddha and also for those who are sadhakas. So, therefore, this verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is quoting the 5 chief activities of all the limbs of bhakti, Sadhu Sangha, Nam Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathura Vasa, Srimurti, Shraddhaya, Seva. These activities are the most powerful. And Gurudev is not quoting it, but after this is quoted by Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu is teaching this to Sanatana Goswami. And then Mahaprabhu says, these 5 are so powerful that even by focusing on one of them, one can attain Krishna Prema. Can attain Krishna Prema. So, it's not a light thing. So, in Raganuga Bhakti, these are the main activities that the Raganuga Sadhaka is also focusing on. What is that? Sadhu Sangha. Nam Kirtan. Hearing Bhagavatam, Bhagavat Shravan, means also all the commentaries of the Acharyas. And always being in the Dham, Mathura Vasa. And finally, Shrimurtir Shraddhaya Sevan. Each one of the Goswamis, they worship their deities, So everything in its ultimate stage, in the stage of coming to the very high levels, before the stage of Bhav, and then finally coming into the stage of Bhav, these activities are indispensable. So in this way, Srila Gurudev has given comment to the 14th verse of this beautiful book, Sri Vilapa-kusumanjali. And so we're bowing down at the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Radha Vinod Bihari Jiyo Radha Govinda Jiyo, that they will bless us, that we can one day become qualified for this. Gaur Premanandi.
That was cream of the cream.
Yeah, but there's way more cream.
Yeah.
There's more cream. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe, Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe, Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe, Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe, Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe, Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe, Kanumana Mohini Radhe Radhe, Kanumana Mohini Radhe Radhe, Ashtashaki Shiromani Radhe Radhe, Ashtashaki Shiromani Radhe Radhe, Govinda Nandini Radhe Radhe, Govinda Nandini Radhe Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Sachi Nandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachi Nandan, Jaya Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Nitai Gaur Hari Hari Bol. Jai Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Jiu Ki Jai. Radha Vinod Bihari Tattva Ashtakam Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vedacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo